Okay, so good morning everyone. Today we are going to talk about quality systems. This is session 13 and how we're going to go about it. The content, we're going to talk about quality philosophy, tools of quality management and overview of quality manuals of various international buyers. The textile industry complex, as we can see on an aggregate level, uh, we are looking at suppliers of raw materials, we are looking at the manufacturers, and we are looking at the seller or the retailer. You could be one of the supplier of raw material, or you could be the manufacturer of fabrics or accessories or garments, or you could be a seller or the retailer, online or offline. At the end of this session, you would realize that quality is a very important aspect and it is something that touches everyone. It matters to the customer and therefore it should, must matter to everyone in the supply chain, which is the supplier of raw material or the manufacturer or the seller or the retailer. And I will not be able to emphasize enough that quality is of paramount importance, and to settle the matter once and for all, if someone were to disagree that quality is not so important and it's more about branding and how you sell it, etc., etc. In today's world, if you look at the data, if you look at the results, and that over a period of more than 50 years, you will see that the uh, the best brand in the world today happens to be Toyota, and Toyota is one such company which has focused on quality to a very large extent, and there is a concept called Toyota system. Toyota system is a system of quality management, and it is followed by all big manufacturers in the world. So quality is very important. The need for quality assurance exists regardless of whether you make it or someone else makes it. And quality assurance, when we say, what we mean is uh, the very act of looking at the various aspects in the entire manufacturing process, the entire supply chain process, maybe also in the selling process. How do we ensure that the quality which has been envisaged, that this is the quality that we are going to give to the customer, how do we ensure that that quality is maintained, is a part of quality assurance, and the need for quality assurance exists regardless of whether you make it or someone else makes it. Meaning to say, just because you are the retailer and you are selling a product and that there's a problem with the product, there's a manufacturing defect, so you sell it to the customer uses it, comes back to you that there is a problem with this garment and how did you give it to me, and there's a lot of errors. So what is your response to the retailer, to the customer?
So Jaiswal is
So
waiting up, it seems.
just Simran Singh, Simran, all three people, all the three Simrans are inside.
Okay, sir.
Good. Okay, okay. Thank you for informing. Okay. So, so going back to the example where you have sold a garment and the customer comes back to you that it has not been made correctly. So you want to give or convince the customer or maybe apologize and then take it forward. What do? You replace it and things like that. But you cannot say that listen, I am just a seller and I'm selling it. And if there's a manufacturing problem, it is not my mistake. And I'm going to get back to the manufacturer and I'm going to blast this person. Uh, so the customer is not bothered about who has made it. The only thing that a customer is bothered about is that I have been given an incorrect a product whose quality is severely compromised. So all the people who are there in business, they either they have to look at the quality or they'll have to maintain the quality, but someone will have to maintain. And everyone in the supply chain is going to be responsible for each other's fault. Meaning to say that if the manufacturer has made a great product, has supplied it to the retailer at the right time, but then the retailer is not selling the product the way it should be, the quality of the salesman is not so good. So therefore, the product sales are going to get hampered, or they'll be not as good as it could have been. So, so what we are essentially saying over here is that whether you like it or not, you will have to own up. You will have to take the responsibility. So whether you make it or someone else makes it, quality has to be there. So the system has to ensure that the quality is assured at any given point of time. Understanding quality assurance is a very important term, and quality assurance is a subject, a very huge subject. And there is also proper designation in any manufacturing house called a quality assurance manager. So quality assurance in itself is one department, and it's a very huge body of knowledge and area of research. Textile quality assurance is the process of designing, producing, evaluating, and checking products to deliver the desired product. So when we say desired product, let's say we take a very small example of, let's say, a t-shirt. So what are we expecting from a t-shirt? So a t-shirt is supposed to fit me well if I have taken it for myself, and the hand feel or the feel against my skin should be comfortable, and it should be breathable. I should not feel uncomfortable or clammy in warm or hot weather, and I should look good. And if I wash it, I'm able to wash it easily at home, and it dries very fast, and it does not disintegrate. There is no bacterial activity just because you washed it. It starts smelling because you have washed it, and put it in the shade to dry and things like that. So these are some of those various expectations that customers have from a pretty simple product called let's say a white t-shirt. So what the customer desire, we at least the basic minimum has to be delivered to the customer. Else it's going to be very bad for the brand. It's going to be difficult for the brand to sell to the customers. Now, points to ponder is one of this point is, who is responsible for the quality of the goods? So the answer is that everyone who is related to the production of the product and of the supplying or the distribution of the product, and the people who are selling it to the customers, and then also the people who are taking the "may I help you" phone call. If a customer has a problem, and the person who picks up the call to address the inquiries of the customer, all these people are responsible for the quality of the goods. If the product is great, but if I'm asking something after I've bought the product, I've gone home, then I make a phone call, I want to understand something, and so no one picks up the phone or someone gives me the wrong information, it also means that the quality of the product is not good, because all said and done, in terms of the after sales service, the product failed or did not really match up to the desired expectation of the customer. So everyone, from the supplier of the raw material till the people who are in touch with the customers, all of them are responsible for the quality of the goods. Uh, so quality should satisfy customers' expectations. Today, you have to produce quality products at a competitive price. There is no other choice. In the short run, maybe you would come across brands who have not made great products, have not given great quality, have been selling a lot of bling and things like that. But in the long run, you will also always see that the brands, they have to give good quality, else the market will reject you. There are a lot of great um,
What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, my laptop got heated up and it shut down. So we're going to resume this. So where were we? Yeah. So quality satisfies customers' expectations. Let's look at the markets and let's look at the consumer behavior. We should be able to make out that what do people expect from a 100 rupee T-shirt or a 500 rupee T-shirt or a 5,000 rupee T-shirt, and accordingly we understand the expectations of the customers, and therefore when we are delivering a T-shirt, it should have those qualities so that it is able to satisfy the customer's expectation. Now today you have to produce quality products and at a competitive price. The price is so important because at any given point of time for a particular price point, customers compare what is available, and if you are not able to offer that much of value for that price vis-a-vis your competitors, the customer is not going to buy your product. Go to the next point. Quality is inherent in a product and is incorporated in the product during product development, production, and marketing. What we're saying over here is that all those various um, deliberations that we undertake, directly or indirectly, adds to the quality of the product. So directly is when we are saying that when we are producing the product, the quality of the fabric should be good, the quality of the machine should be good, the quality of the stitching should be good, quality of whatever you are seeing in the product should be good. That is a direct thing. But the indirect thing is when you are creating marketing content, your website, your the ad campaign and things like that, they should also be accurate and they should be giving the correct impression so that on the basis of what customers see on television or maybe in the newspaper or in the hoardings, based on that when they go and buy the product, what they see and what they get, it should match. That is again an aspect of quality, and we are talking about quality in the marketing department. Marketing department also has to take care of the quality in the all the activities that they undertake. Next point, textile quality assurance includes quality of goods as well as actions and interactions of the departments, materials and processes involved in production. So again, what we are saying here is quality there in the product as well as the actions taken by the departments and the interaction between the departments. So a customer does not know what are the various departments in the manufacturing house, but the actions which are taken by these divisions or the departments in the manufacturing house, in the supply chain, their interaction, etc., etc., all of that should be smooth. Their understanding should be good, and that is the only way you will be able to give a great product to the customers. If two departments are not in good talking terms with each other, the chances are that the product will fail somewhere. Maybe in packing, maybe in the overall appearance of the garment, maybe in something else. So all the departments have to be interacting with each other at least at an optimum level, and only then the brand will be able to deliver something great, something truly of great quality to the customers. Okay, why has quality become so important? So if you go back in time, uh, maybe 20, 30 years back, the kind of quality that we were getting was not so great, and deliveries used to take a lot of time, and the number of options that we were getting were less. The features were not so many, and the speed or the accuracy or anything that you talk about, those were not so great. But today, most of the brands which are available in the markets, whether it is noodles, whether it is cell phones or mobile or laptops or any other product, or let's say sunglasses or let's say furniture, all of them they are now offering great quality, and it is not that out of their own concern and out of the love for the customer they are doing this. It is because of the competition and because of the globalization and because of the reduced information asymmetry, because customers can now at the click of the button see who's offering what, then actually can also experience the quality and then decide. So today you don't have a choice of shortchanging the customer and trying to sell them something, maybe fobbing them off with some substandard product. You can only do it for once. Then it's going to create a lot of bad blood in the market. So therefore quality has become very, very important. And quality is one thing which will always help you in penetrating the market and survive in the long run. Even our elders or your moral science books, they say that honesty is the best policy and you must be giving great quality. Sooner or later, the rest of them are going to disappear and you're still going to stand in the long run. We have the definition of quality. Webster defines quality as that which belongs to something and makes or helps to make it what it is, or characteristic element, any character or characteristic which may make an object good or bad, the degree of excellence which a thing possesses. Quality is defined as the total of the characteristics that help deserve the overall object or service. So this is a little bit of gibberish language to make it simple. If you say this is cotton, and we say this is silk. So we say it's cotton because of the quality, and the quality is that it is cellulosic and it has a particular cross-sectional structure if you look at it under the microscope, and it has certain characteristics, and therefore we call it cotton. Similarly, silk is called silk because it possesses certain characteristics. So that is one definition of quality. And if we look at cotton, good cotton and bad cotton qualities. So sample A, sample B both are cottons, but one is good quality cotton and the other is bad quality cotton. So based on the parameters, we can say that one sample is good and one is bad. So one of the parameters can be that the GSM, the grams per square meter. If it varies a lot in, let's say, 100 meters of the fabric, the GSM is varying a lot, it is bad quality. It should be consistent. The variation should not be very high. Another such aspect can be that the strength of the cotton fabric. Any cotton which has been lying around for about 1 year, if you make a garment from that, the cotton has already become very weak, and therefore the tear strength, the tensile strength is going to be very less vis-a-vis cotton fabric which is fresh. So good quality cotton would have certain characteristics, would be able to perform at certain levels, and the bad quality will not be able to perform at that level. So that there are two aspects of quality. One is because it has that feature, therefore it is called cotton. Because it has a feature, therefore it's called silk. That is the way it possesses something. So therefore it is what quality of fabric is this? This is cotton velvet or cotton voile, etc. And this is silk georgette or silk voile or silk chiffon. That is what you already possess. That is one aspect of quality, and the other is in terms of performance. So quality is defined as the total of the characteristics that help describe the overall object or service. So being a girl is a quality and being a boy is quality. But then a good girl or a bad girl, good boy or a bad boy is another aspect of quality, and you have to handle both of them. When we come to the product perspective, product quality is represented by the total of a set of precise and measurable characteristics or components of a finished product. The difference in characteristic or component leads to difference in quality, and each parameter is quantified or benchmark. And that's the example that I've just given. Example is GSM, count, construction, color fastness to washing, rubbing, etc. So when we say GSM, you have a t-shirt, single jersey, it can be 90 GSM, 100, 120, 130. So as the GSM changes, the quality of the fabric also changes because the GSM has changed. If the count changes, again the GSM would change, and so different fabrics having different counts would give it a different nomenclature altogether. If the construction is different, plain weave, twill weave, satin weave, so again the quality would change, and you would call that fabric by a different name altogether. Of course, these are what a product possesses, and color fastness to washing, rubbing, etc. These are the performances. So the two aspects of quality: one is the characteristic that it possesses, and the second is the performance level, which is color fastness to washing, rubbing, etc. So what you see now is different types of buttons. There are millions of types of buttons, and all buttons would be subjected to different quality parameters. But one very simple parameter is the strength. The button should not break. So it can be a plastic button, it can be a shell button, it can be a metal button. It should not break. Second, second can be the button should not bleed. So if you have a, let's say, a white shirt and it has a contrasting color black button, if the button bled, then the color is going to stain the rest of the fabric, rest of the garment, and that is going to spoil the value of the entire garment. Now we come to a very important aspect. It's called TQM. Very well known. If you join any organization, TQM is something that will invariably, inevitably come across. Total quality management. Now TQM, we are going to discuss it in detail now. What we are, the basic premise is focus on the customers and their satisfaction, and that is the basic underlying principle of TQM. If you focus on the customer and their satisfaction, it's the simplest mantra to survive in the markets. In TQM, all actions are directed towards producing a quality product for the target group, satisfying the target group, and meeting the company's business objectives. So yeah, we're focusing on the customer and we're trying to satisfy the customer, but then we also have to look at the financial health of the organization. So we have to do it in a very efficient manner so that we are also able to create surplus for the organization. Now, firms and you must understand all interactions with customers, all interactions that the customers have with the company. Uh, sorry, firms must understand all interactions customers have with the company and use that information to improve the system. What we're saying over here is that you should know what all interactions the customer is having with your company, and you should recognize all of them, and whatever data is being generated, you should capture that and you should use it to improve the system. At any given point of time, we cannot have any perfect system. So all interactions. So a simple example is a person coming to, let's say we are taking the example of a Pantaloon store. It is a standalone store. It is in a particular area, and Pantaloon has its own space for parking. So when a customer goes to Pantaloon and is not able to find parking, is one interaction that the customer is having with your organization. When the person is entering the store, and let's say you're carrying a lady is carrying a purse, so the guard says that purse yahin pe rakh ke jana padega. So the customer is infuriated. Why am I going to leave my purse over here? So the person says, then you'll have to show all the contents of the purse, only then I'll allow you to go inside. So the customer is baffled that I have private things in my purse. Why will I show it to you? That is also one such interaction that the customer is having with your organization. And then of course you go inside, you experience the visual merchandise, the music that is there, air conditioning, pleasant people inside, the way products have been displayed, etc., etc. These are all interactions that the customer is having with your company. This is something that you have to take cognizance of, and whatever data is being generated, you have to use that information and see if there are some things which can be improved. You should try to improve it so that you are able to give a better product and service to the customer. Now we are going to talk about two champions, world champions of quality. One is Deming and the other is Juran. For now, if you remember the name, that would suffice. But later on, you would come to know the importance of the contribution by these two gentlemen, Deming and Juran. So we are going to discuss about them one by one. About W. Edwards Deming. He was born in Sioux City, Iowa on 14th October 1900. The father of Japanese post-war revival. So Japan was not known for great quality before the World War, and after U.S. Dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Japan was thoroughly destroyed, Deming was the one who helped Japan revive after the war. He also assisted US in the World War II. He was the American statistician, professor, author, lecturer, and consultant, known worldwide for his contribution to the quality systems. He is the one who created these systems. He established a system of profound knowledge, suggested quality concept about designing products. He enumerated a very commonsensical. If you look at it, you'll say, yeah, this is quite logical. But then logical things normally defy people's common sense. And that is what we are going to highlight in the subsequent slides. Now, he enumerated a 14-point management philosophy. He promoted importance of leadership. 85% of production faults, responsibility of management, not workers. Now, who would say this? That 85% of the faults are the responsibility of the management. Management is not even doing things. It is the workers who are producing. So we'll see why he said that 85% of the production faults is the responsibility of management. Anyways, All production faults is in the name of the brand. So whoever makes the mistake, the brand is going to get the beating, and it is going to hurt the brand image. So Deming's 14 principles uh, create constancy of purpose for improving products and service. Constancy is from the word constant. So your purpose has to be constant all the time to improve products and service. So at any given point of time, all the people in the organization and all the resources deployed should be in order to improve the products and services. You have to do it in order to survive and in order to earn in the markets. The second principle was adopt the new philosophy. Whatever new philosophies exist, which are much better than the previous existing ones, they should be adopted by the organization. Third is cease dependence on inspection to achieve quality. What we are saying over here is stop depending on inspecting to achieve quality. You need to say that if I were to stand in the examination hall to inspect, to audit, to ensure that no one is cheating, and ultimately, what is the purpose of doing that? That is not going to improve the quality. Quality is being built up in the classroom. Quality is being built up when the students understand that when the examinations are happening, it is only to test your own true capability. If you cheat and then you get more marks, in your head you forget that you cheated. The only thing that you remember is you are a 80%er or a 90%er. And that is, you are actually cheating your own self. So the dependence on inspection should be removed over a period of time. All the people who are doing whatever they are doing, they should do it with a clear understanding that what they are doing, what is the importance of what they are doing in the overall organization, and how what they are doing affects the overall quality of the product in the eyes of the customer. So let us not be depending on inspectors, that inspectors are going to get to help us achieve great quality. Inspectors are going to stand on the heads of the workers and drive them to deliver great quality. This is a very regressive method of achieving quality. Quality should be achieved in the first place through the positive contribution of all the people working in the organization. Now, third one. The fourth one is end the practice of awarding business on price alone. Instead, minimize total cost by working with a single supplier. And the fourth one is fairly simple. Just because of cheap prices, don't give orders. You you should try to reduce the total cost by working with a single supplier. So instead of working with half a dozen suppliers and constantly negotiating with them and only giving orders to those people who are giving you great prices, better strategy would be to work with a single supplier, give them more orders, and make them understand uh, your relationship with the manufacturer, how the manufacturer and the brand, they are part of the single team, and uh, how both of them, the supplier and the retailer, how both of them are responsible for providing quality to the customer, and thereby, by the virtue of giving great quality, both are going to benefit. So instead of just the price, rather build relationships to bring down the prices, bring down the total costs. And over a period of time, both the seller as well as the supplier, both should exist, and both should be making money. We go to the fifth one, improve constantly and forever every process of planning, production, and service. So all the time when you wake up, so from the first breath that you take after waking up till the time you're going off to sleep, you have to constantly improve every process of planning, production, and service. Planning is you decide what is to be done, how. Production is when actually it is being implemented, and service is when we are adding additional features to our product vis-a-vis for the customers. in terms of great delivery, in terms of great communication, in terms of great behavior of the uh, salesman, etc., etc. So all of that is important, and continuously we strive to improve it. And sixth one is important: institute training on job. Now this is something which is important, which should be undertaken. It's a responsibility that should be taken by you. What we are saying here is institute training on job. The people who are working in your organization are the ones who are doing things because of which you are making money. Now, if you are able to, if you want great contributions from people who are working in your organization, then you should uh, make it integral in your organization that all the people should be given training. Meaning to say, a person who is occupying the position of a junior manager should be given training so that that person becomes capable of becoming a manager. Now, your job is to give them training, whatever required training they require, and it is up to them to absorb the whatever is being taught in the training, and then it should help them to perform better. So your job was to, you were responsible for training them. After that, if they improve their performance significantly, then they can be now promoted to the next level, which is the manager. Same can be said for a salesman, someone who is selling. Give them training so that they are able to sell better. So instead of a junior salesman, they can become a salesman or a senior salesman based on the performance. But just telling people that, you know, why am I performing better does not make sense. And like Mr. Deming said, that 85% of the fault lies with the top management. So if people are not selling well, it is the problem. It is the fault of the top management. How? Why? If people are not able to sell well, if they're not able to generate significant amount of sales, then it is the responsibility of the top management to see why this is not happening, and if there is something which is lacking uh, on the part of the salesman, then the salesman should be given the feedback, and then it should be gauged that are there any such training which can be given to the salesman so that the salesman is able to improve the sales. So identify that and then train them as per the needs. We go to the seventh one: adopt and institute leadership. So leadership is about taking the lead, innovate, taking the lead, take initiatives, be the first one to uh, take the first step, and lead others to follow your footsteps. All of this in a very positive way so that people grow as well as the organization grows. So leadership should be celebrated, and so meaning to say that adopt and institute leadership would mean that if there's a store, there's a floor, there should be a leader on the floor, there should be a leader in the store, there should be a leader in the region, and people should be called leaders for valid reasons. And an organization should help the people to become leaders. Identify why a person is not able to lead or is not behaving like a leader, and then supplement those inputs so that every person at least becomes a leader within themselves. We go to the eighth one, which is drive out fear. Let people know, do not worry, do not fear. You're free to make mistakes, and please go ahead, give your inputs, or try various experiments, or do not be afraid to speak up. If you see something wrong, uh, fearlessly you can tell us. No one is going to say anything to you or blame you for anything or target you in particular.